Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News channel. We're going to talk about the real status of Vechain, and we're going to take a look at some of the partnerships, but also like what its likely trajectory is, in the foreseeable future. Now, there's a lot of people that are interested in a ton of partnerships, and they always look to that as to how and when it's going to grow. I don't think that's correct because we've seen a lot of partnerships come and go over the years. And yes, it does get use cases, but they don't really affect the price because I don't think the actual use case or the actual utility adoption is actually big enough. And I'm not really sure if it's actually the coin's actually designed that way for transactions to increase in price because the ecosystem is built like most other ecosystems to not increase in price as transactions go up unless they go up to a massive, massive degree. Now, a couple of years ago, they basically reduced the cost of VETHO by 99%. I think they just recently reinstated that. But if you remember, back before 2019, even before they instated that rule in the first place, the VETHO burn was nowhere near what the VETHO generation rate is. And even though it's increased a little bit over the years, it really hasn't increased all that much. So now that like they're going to probably make the VETHO costs back to what it originally was, it still won't really affect the supply and demand cycle. There might be a little bit of FOMO for VeChain and VETHO. And indeed, if VETHO goes up, VeChain will probably go up because obviously if the price of gas goes up, the worth of your gas station is probably going to go up too, or your oil derrick is going to go up too. And that's what VeChain and VETHO's relationship is. VeChain is the oil derrick, VETHO is the oil. So if one goes up, the other will probably go up. But the thing is, it's going to be all on speculation. It's not going to be on true utility. So despite the fact that I think it is a positive for price that they're setting the VETHO burn rate back to what it originally was, it is not an end-all, be-all, like we're going to moon soon. Now, they did actually have the conference last month, and they did reveal a new Web3 and dApp initiative just a few days ago. And I think those are going to factor a lot more into the price than any of this industrial utility. A lot of people are obsessed with industrial utility because they believe that it's going to take over the logistics or the sustainability world. But, there's a lot of competition in those fields. You got HBAR for logistics, and you have a bunch of other non-blockchain solutions for sustainability. So, having to increase the transactions, 100x before it maybe starts affecting price, I don't think that's going to happen in the foreseeable future. However, I've been saying this for a long time, that VeChain's main problem for price increase is the lack of DeFi and the lack of other on-chain dApps, and now they're finally focusing on that. What I mean by lack of DeFi is not that they don't have DeFi. You've had V Exchange for a long time, but the volume is pretty much dead. And you've had one or two other protocols that are on VeChain that are basically doing DeFi as well, but no one's actually buying into the VeChain ecosystem. And there's some pretty decent projects like Safe Haven on there. So, more than just getting version 2.0 up and the finality piece of it in, and more than just releasing tools for Web3, they need to commit the funding for Web3 and application development, and I think they're finally going to do that. It's not going to be the fastest process. We do have VUSD, but we also need to mint more VUSD and get more in the treasury, and they need to commit the funds to do that. Hopefully, they will actually do that. And if they commit the funds to really expand their ecosystem, if they put as much effort into expanding their dApp and DeFi ecosystem as they did making partnerships, VET could make a lot of progress. I mean, it's hard to mark the progress because you won't necessarily see it in terms of TPS on VeChain, but you can see it in terms of, I guess, TVL and the number of dApps released and if there's any big dApps on there. NFTs and gaming are the same thing. We need more of those things on there. So that being said, it is a really good sign that they're really focusing on Web3 and dApp development now. And if that goes on, I do believe VeChain will reach my goal of $1 by the next bull run. The thing is, I see it going up along with Bitcoin until Bitcoin reaches about $50,000, $60,000, and then I expect it to go up more exponentially after that, but we might have to wait until next year for that. So VeChain's growth will definitely depend on the growth of its ecosystem and how much funding and commitment they have to bring more developers in. If they can get more developers in, it's going to grow fast. As you notice, all the coins that went up massively in the last bull run basically were those that actually developed their ecosystems, whether it's Cardano, Solana, Terra Luna when it was still existent. All those things built big ecosystems. They had big stable coins and they built big TVLs. I believe Vechain does have the blueprint to do that. But is it a good investment? Yes, I would actually think it's a decent investment. I don't know if it's like, going to be a great investment because it's not as known as some of the other ecosystems. But I still believe it is a good investment that can get you a decent amount of multiplier. And it's actually proven itself by being around for so long. So it's a little bit safer than some of the new investments. It doesn't have a lawsuit hanging over it. But then again, it's also not ERC20. So Americans, especially those of you that use Coinbase, might have trouble accessing it. So that's my analysis of Vechain. I think it's a positive trajectory, but you need to keep a close eye on how much they're committing to DeFi and dApp development. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.